Be confident, be bold, be authentic, but don't forget to take action. This is Ordinary to Badass, where our stories empower women to step into the spotlight of their own lives and pursue what they're truly passionate about. It's time to step into the arena and become more than just extraordinary. It's time to become a badass with your host, Marie Sonneman.
Welcome to Ordinary to Badass, episode number 127. This week, we are switching it up. We're doing something completely different. There will be 5 episodes, 5 days in a row, Monday through Friday this week, and it's going to share 5 tips for building confidence like a badass, right? Who doesn't want that? I know I'm always trying to increase my confidence, improve my confidence. I don't feel like there's ever like a top out, right? I'm not trying to be egotistical. I just want to be confident in every area of my life that I can be. And new little monsters or whatever will always poke up here and there. And that's when I address it and keep doing the work. Because you can work on your confidence, but unless you keep practicing, it can easily go away. It's like a muscle. You have to keep building the confidence muscle. All right. Before we get to the episode, I gotta tell you, there are so many fun things going on. I'm super excited. We are going to have a badass adventure retreat. Now, I know the name might make it sound like it's going to be all about adventure, but it's not. It's going to be about your health, your personal finances, or your wealth, and relationships. The power of relationships and community is so stinking important. So it's not going to be like couples. This is going to be a women's retreat. But still, the relationships you surround yourself with are so important. So that's going to be something that we're going to be talking about. And it's cool to have other badass women on your side. The link to get on the waiting list is going to be in the podcast notes as well as the show notes. So make sure to check that out. I am so stinking excited. It's going to be so much fun. All right, let's get to the episode. Welcome to Ordinary to Badass. Whether you're ordinary or badass, I'm glad you're here. Today, I'm going to share the first step to gaining confidence. Confidence is not easy. It's absolutely not. And one thing that I think is vitally important to gaining confidence is cleaning out the cobwebs. Now, what does that mean? You have to clean out the cobwebs of the past. In your past, there are all sorts of crazy, probably horrible things that have happened to you or things that like stick with you, right? And if we don't go back and clean those out and actually deal with them, then those cobwebs stay in place. And it's hard to move forward. It's hard to feel confident when we still have prior things in our life that are blocking you. So you might be wanting an example. What are these cobwebs that I'm talking about? How do you clear them out? An example is in relationships, right? You get in a relationship and say you break up. And you have a lot of resentment, a lot of anger towards that person because they did you dirty. I don't mean to make light of it. It's just laughing at my phrase, but they did you wrong and you're freaking pissed and you tend to hold in that anger, right? And if you don't deal with that, if you don't accept your role in it or what led to the end situation and get some sort of closure within yourself, how in the heck are you going to be confident going into a new relationship? You're probably more likely to repeat the same patterns if you do end up getting into a relationship. But then you're still holding all the anger and resentment from the person before, right? So you have to clean out the cobwebs. Well, you don't have to. It is 100% your choice. But To get confidence, to get momentum going forward, you have to clean out the cobwebs from the past. You have to clear those. And I keep saying have to. You don't have to. You're not required to. But if you want to move past it, if you want to be confident going forward, clean out those cobwebs. The same could be true for friendships, right? You have friends, and if you want to keep them as friends, it's good to have healthy communication. It's good to talk to each other about the things that are bothering you or the things that are making you happy, right? So if they're doing something that makes you upset, then find a way to share that with them. It doesn't have to be like confrontational and aggressive, but you can clean out the cobwebs by just being upfront, by just telling them what is going on. And then that way you are going to have more confidence with your relationships, with your friendships, because you're able to speak your mind, but in return, they're able to speak their mind as well. Some of my best friends, it's like, aren't afraid to tell me how it is. And same vice versa. Or if there was ever some sort of argument or fight, it's like over in 2 seconds, right? Because you don't hold on to it long term. But at least if you bring it up and you get it out there, then there's not this thing where it drags on and on and on. And then you obviously have confidence in your friendship as well as confidence speaking up for yourself going forward. What we often forget is that confidence tends to bleed over into different areas of our lives, right? Like if you master confidence in your relationships, with your friendships, with different people in your life, okay, then you're probably going to be more confident around other people as well. But that's part of it. You got to clear out the old stuff so that you can get to the new fun stuff, right? Now, let's take a different spin on this whole thing. With your finances. Clear out the cobwebs. I keep saying that phrase, but go look at what's been going on. Look at last month's finances and really dig into them. Find out where you're doing well. Find out what you're struggling with. Maybe you're doing well, like you're making a good income, and then you're struggling with overspending. Okay, cool. But you got to be able to look at what you've been doing so that you can make a plan going forward. It's like when you completely ignore everything that's been going on, you ignore all of your mistakes because there's so much guilt and shame, then it just gets worse. It builds, right? But then if you address it and you just look at it, you're like, you can move forward with your head up and your shoulders back and feel like a total freaking badass. But a lot of times it just takes acknowledging it or like cleaning it up a little bit. Here's the thing about shame. It hides in the shadows. And it's so hard when you're feeling guilt, when you're feeling shame. It is so hard to get beyond yourself. It's so hard to feel confident because you're so much sucked into the guilt and the shame. So if you can acknowledge it, if you can speak it out loud, right? Maybe you have a significant other or a spouse. Can you tell them what's been going on? Can you tell them the mistakes that you made with your finances? We often make things so much worse in our head. So say, remember when I was $106,000 in debt, right? I made it so much worse in my head. Or I was just like, I'm a bad person. I'm horrible with my money. I'm bad with finances. I can never do this. And I just felt guilt and I felt shame and I felt so much embarrassment and it was awful. And I'll tell you, initially I didn't tell people because I was too embarrassed by it. But then when I started seeing some traction, I'm like, oh yeah, like got a little bit of swagger, right? And I started announcing it to people like, oh yeah, I'm $106,000 in debt, but I've paid off $20,000. And then that felt empowering, that felt encouraging. And so then there was other people there to support me. But if you keep it all inside and you don't tell people what you're facing, then it feels very, very shameful. And it's so easy to like think of all of the worst situations, all of the bad possible outcomes, right? So if there's a close friend or family member, that you can talk to about your finances or whatever the situation is that you're feeling shame and guilt around, man, that can clear the air. That can take a weight off your shoulders. Because like I said, shame and guilt tend to hide in the shadows. They tend to want to be kept a secret. But that doesn't help you feel any better. And where is this idea that we can outthink our problems? For me, overthinking is the problem. So why do I think that I can sit there and try to think out a solution when I'm shaming myself? I can't. So get out of your head, talk to somebody about it, talk to friends about it, and then also get around other people or get exercise, do something that makes you generally feel good. So what makes you feel good? And then how can you find a way to get out and do more of that so that you're not stuck in your own head? All right, I know I went on a little bit of a tangent there, but it does not matter what area of your life. If your house is a mess and you feel embarrassed and shameful about it, okay, clean your house. Start figuring out ways to organize. Tell people about it. Tell people, hey, I suck at organizing. Any tips? And then you'll hear what other people say. And then sometimes you hear they have the same problem you do. They just didn't ask for help, right? So you don't know who else is struggling with the same thing as you sometimes if you don't speak up. Now, if there's unhealthy people in your life, I am not suggesting that you talk to them about this. If you have negative Nellies in your life, don't even talk to them about it. Talk to people who are supportive of you and who are uplifting and really find out what's going on. There's not so much. I don't know. That's where you're going to find confidence. Get rid of some of that shame, that guilt, that embarrassment. That's where confidence is going to come. And I was going to say stop keeping secrets, but really, if you're feeling shame or guilt about something, who can you talk to about it? Who? Because that will let it breathe. That will help you to feel better. So for today, I want you to start thinking, what areas are you lacking confidence in? Maybe you feel like you lack confidence altogether, or sometimes it's just a certain area of your life. What area are you lacking confidence in? And is there any cobwebs in your past, anything that's happened in the past that make you feel insecure, uncomfortable? Is there a way that you can clear them out? Maybe you go see a counselor, right? And you talk to them about the things that are bothering you. And here's the cool thing is often counselors can help you find a new way of dealing with things, a way that you hadn't imagined. Or they help you to realize that you're pretty darn normal. This is how people are. This is what people do. And you're like, oh, I'm not that bad. I should not be embarrassed. Or I'm human. I make freaking mistakes, right? Or they're human. Whoever, if somebody wronged you or something, but a counselor or a therapist, they can help you process this stuff. But clear out those old cobwebs. Find a way to do it. And so that you're comfortable with it, so that you can move forward. You can move forward confidently. I know that you're a badass. I know that there are amazing things to come for you. So clear out anything in your past that's bothering you or kind of sticks with you or you feel angry about still. But also, if you don't know where to start, like I said, just look at areas where you want to gain confidence and then try to think, is there anything in the past that is around this? Can I pinpoint a reason why I'm feeling this way? And then work on that. All right, clearing out your cobwebs, that's the first step to gaining confidence, and we will be back tomorrow with step number 2, so make sure that you tune in. Okay, are you feeling more confident? I kid. It takes time. These things don't happen overnight, but just start applying the tools. And then, of course, tune in for tomorrow and get the next tip tomorrow. And come on, you want more confidence? You want to feel more badass? Definitely get on the waiting list for this badass adventure retreat because I know that you're going to love it. That's all for today. I can't wait to see your face in the badass adventure retreat.
Now that you've listened to this episode of Ordinary to Badass, we want to hear from you. Go to our website, ordinarytobadass.com/podcast, and submit your own experience on how you took your life from ordinary to badass and get the chance to be on a future Spotlight episode of the show. That's ordinarytobadass.com/podcast. While you're waiting for the next episode of the show, wipe off the sweat, dust off the dirt, and get back in the arena.